thought this is really special because of her children, and hopefully, more children to come, but, the idea of having Steve truly be officially a part of our family, I thought it was a very special and wonderful and unique thing to say. Because we've known each other so long that we already feel like family. And it's been a really awesome 9-some-odd years, I guess.
Dylan wants to say something. Can he?
Yeah, of course. Dylan,
Say what you just said.
He was always part of our family.
That's true. Thanks, buddy.
Sweet.
Anyway, the next thing I wanted to do is I also wanted to say something. I wanted to say how much I really wish my grandfather was here. How much I wish my other uncle was here, Uncle Michael. How much I wish Buddy Wong was here. How much I wish Louie was here. But I do wanted to pay some respects to my grandfather and my uncle. I know that they would have loved to have been here as well. Now, so I get asked to become a minister, which was quite a shock. And the very first wedding, I actually gave my mom away. That was both very difficult and probably something that I don't really look back on fondly. This moment, I hope to look back on fondly as I grow older. However, I wanted to say that being asked to be a minister was something that I didn't come to the decision very lightly. And that being because I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how I would approach things, how I would talk to my family, how I'd address things. But then I sat down and I tried to start writing things, and it was as if I was writing chicken scratch because I was trying to write this story because I'm a story guy. I love story. I'm an actor. I make my living, in the theater, and I love stories, and I love to create stories, and I love to listen to stories, and I love to be a part of stories. And the story of Steve began almost 10 years ago, 9.5 years ago, right? So 9.5 years ago, we welcomed Steve into our lives, but we were in a completely different place. My sisters and I, we were a team. We were a team against all of Mom's other boyfriends, no matter what. Okay? A man came into our mom's life, we wanted to torture him until he backed away crying. We lit his farm on fire. We melted his trailer. We did something, but we were a team, and that's how we stuck together. And so when Steve came in, he comes in with this British accent and all of this stuff, and I was looking at him, and I really liked Steve from the get-go, but obviously with a lot of our history, I didn't trust him. I didn't want to trust him. And so when he came in, and he was this foreign guy with this big, robust personality, I was like, well, he ain't gonna last because he has no idea what he's getting into. He's got some serious obstacles to climb. And he's been climbing them for 9 years, and he's still standing here. So that is impressive, okay? That's impressive. It was a testament to his love. But the other thing is that when he sat down with me at Christmas time, he sat down, he brought out a really expensive bottle of scotch, so I knew that there had to be something up, right? But, I wasn't 100% certain. Then he breaks out a couple really nice cigars, and he sits down and he says, Mom, what would you say if I asked your mother to marry me? And I said, wait a second, you're not married? How have you been in this country this long? I was baffled. I was like, how can you stand here after 9.5 years and people are getting deported left and right and still be here and not be married to my mom with this beautiful house? Anyway, all joking aside, it was a testament to the person that Steve is, the quality of a person that he is, and how much integrity and respect he has, not only for our family, but for myself and for my mother. And I thought it was incredibly moving. And that was the reason why I became ordained, right then and there. And it was obviously for my mother, because I love my mother very much. But I did it for more than just my mother. I did it for these two people. So Mom and Steve. So you look at these two people, you have Shrek and you have the Beauty Queen. And you wonder, how are these two people connected? Despite their penchant for loving shoes and shopping and Santa Clauses.
Yeah.
Pretty much what that was.
and you ask yourself, you go, so what do I see different in Steve? What do I see different in my mom? And what do we as a family feel different towards our lives in general at this moment? And a lot of that has to do with the love that these two people share. After a couple of years, I realized that my mom hadn't been upset about a lot of the things that she had previously been upset about throughout her life. A lot of those worries and stresses had gone by the wayside. And as the years progressed, I realized that my mom had grown into a completely different person than I knew. And not so much that she ever was starting in a bad place and went to a good place. It was more that she had become a very mature and well-rounded and loving human being. And I think that a lot of her emotions distracted her from doing that in the past. And Steve and their love helped just wash that away. And I don't know if it was effortless or if it was something that they worked out, but then I know that that was the end result. And I thought that was something that was really special. I realized that my mom had a loyalty to Steve. I realized that Steve had a certain groundedness where he had an opinion, and he's a strong man, he's an intelligent man, but he also was somebody who had so much integrity that even if he felt his opinions weren't necessary, at times he would hold them back. When he felt like he needed to express them, he expressed them. And that's different, because people become comfortable with each other and they feel like they can express whatever they feel like without any regard for how that other person might feel about what that other person is expressing. And I found that to be very respectful. And I don't mean that in that he doesn't speak up enough. I think that he speaks up plenty. I think he's very opinionated.
Yes.
But I also think that when it comes to certain things that he feels maybe he shouldn't vocalize, he's also has the integrity to not do that. And I think that that is something that my grandfather had. And I think that that is something that Steve shares as a quality. And I think that's something that my mom respects, and I admire that you have found that in another person, because I found that to be a wonderful attribute to my grandfather. And I find that both he and Steve share that. Now, being my mom's son has been wonderful. It's been difficult. It's been loving. She and I started out as a little team, you know? We would go out, and random men would approach my mom. I had no idea because I'm a young kid. But as soon as these men would approach my mom, I would defend her adamantly. I wouldn't give two craps that that person was a grown gorilla. I would get in their face and I'd tell them to back off. And then as I grew older, those same men that were hitting on my mom were my friends. And teenagers. And so I would get in their face. And I had an instant once where one guy was talking about my mom. And he's talking about my mom, and I've got my best friend right there. And I'm so angry, and I'm really about to hit the guy, I'm so angry. And then my friend says something, I turn on, I punch him in his head. He goes, "What did you do that for?" I go, "I don't know." Stop talking about my mom. And that's pretty much how I felt about my mom my entire life. I've always wanted to defend her. I've always wanted to have her back. It's taught me how to control my temperament. That's a lot. I've learned a lot about myself, having a mom that's as pretty as she is. But then you move into your college years, and you know you have fewer and fewer friends that come around your mom. And at this moment, my mom became single again, and other men started coming in. And then that's when my sisters, that had grown into wonderful, intelligent young ladies, had an opinion. They had an opinion about who their mom was dating, what's going on in their lives. And became very close, and we share that, and we share this sort of idea of protecting one another, and that's what a family is about. And Steve has been a part of that. He's been a part of that protecting and nurturing and loving aspect of our family. And then you get a little bit older, and it's your mom's 50th birthday, and apparently she's told everybody else it's her 42nd birthday, so that makes me probably like 18 at this moment. And I started to realize, I go, wow, it's very difficult having a mom that's 17 to 22 years older than you. It's just difficult because those ages always change. Not my age.
You keep getting older.
I just keep getting older.
Who's older than her?
Same damn age.
God, what are you
I realized that the older I get, the younger she gets.
Yeah.
And so the more and more she's morphing into another one of my sisters, which is not the truth. However, we go out and people mistake us for siblings, and we have a very close relationship. And we talk to each other and we handle each other. And we're always excited to be around each other. Every time she comes to New York, we have such a wonderful time together. And it's become this really kind of awesome dynamic between all of us because we are more than just mother and son. We're friends, and I love you and I respect you and I look up to you, and I think that you've done wonderful with this part of your life. And what I hope is that your love, because some people love things because they're valuable, and other people value things and therefore make them loved. And it's a wonderful thing to see people who value love, and then that makes it valuable, because this family is very valuable to me. And I want that to be the one thing that as we grow older, it just continues to increase, because I think that value can always increase. And I think that we have to work at it, and we have to be friends, and we have to talk, and we have to be open with each other. But I think that ultimately, at the end of the day, that will be the one thing that we can truly look back on and really be proud of, and all the rest of it doesn't really matter. Anyway, with that being said, I wanted to end on a little quote by Paul McCartney. Steve. And it says, "In the end, the love you take is equal to the love that you make." All right. So, Dylan,
You're up, man.
you're up, dude.
It's your turn, dude.
Where's the boots?
That's all right. You-
I think that's the wrong foot, Dylan.
Here you go, buddy.
We don't need no stinking boots.
Very cute boots. Love the boots.
Go, Dylan.
Yay, Dylan.
Go, Dylan.
All right.
Oh, okay, okay.
Slide through.
Got it?
Hang on a minute.
Okay.
Hang on a minute.
You can give the ring to Steve.
It's the shiny one. No, it's not that shiny one.
Tiniest one.
It's the shiniest one. There you go.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you, bud. Come here.
Good job,
Good
Dylan.
job, Dylan.
Let me kiss it. Put it.
How about her?
Oh,
Oh, I love you.
so sweet.
Thank you.
Good job, Dylan.
All right. Steve, you gotta grab her left
Good job,
hand.
man. You did good.
Dylan.
Take that finger off.
Dylan, want these?
I got it.
Good boy.
Dylan, hold this one too. Hold this one for Nana. Oh, okay, sorry. I got it. All right.
Good job, man.
All right, Steve, you gotta grab the left
Got
hand
it?
there, Pop.
Got it, bud.
Okay.
Here, Jack, I can hold it.
All right.
I have a free hand.
Do you, Steve, aka Shrek, take my mom, aka Annie,
Mom,
Elizabeth,
Auntie,
Tia,
Rokovich,
Tia Ann.
Thomas,
Nana.
to be your lawfully wedded wife, to have and to hold, in sickness and in health, in good times and in bad, for richer or poor, for as long as you both shall live.
I do.
Okay, you can put the ring on. Good, Mom. And Mom, do you, Annie, aka Mom, take Steve to be your lawfully wedded husband, to have and to hold, in sickness and in health, in good times and in bad, for richer or poor, for as long as you both shall live? Okay. There we go. All right. And now, by the power that I invested in myself on the World Wide Web,
Is it the World Wide Web?
Took 30 minutes. 30 minutes.
He's in the World Wide Web.
and I'll ask you husband.
And now he's a minister. 30 minutes.